Mine.
And welcome back to the Fit Dads Live show. This is episode 24, and we have two special guests for you guys today. First, before any introductions, I want to apologize for being late, as always. It wouldn't be a Fit Dads episode if we weren't late, or if I wasn't late, rather. My co-host, Michael, is more punctual than I am.
Very.
But no matter how hard I try, there's always something that comes up, and I have to be late. I think it's in my genetics.
Possibly.
But anyway, first of all, I wanted to introduce Black Garrett. Some of you might know him from Louder with Crowder. Some of you may know him from the Nerdrotic show that's on Fridays. Or you may know him from his own channel where he streams playing video games. And then we have Mike Harlow, who also runs a YouTube channel. And both of these guys' channels are linked down in the description. So make sure you go give them a subscribe if you haven't already. I know you have to make an account, but it's kind of worth it because then you get to leave comments. You get to leave likes, If you find another show, obviously not this one, that you don't like, you can tell them how much you don't like it.
Or this one.
Or yeah,
exactly.
Freedom of speech.
Well, I mean, if you don't enjoy this show, feel free. I would appreciate the criticism more than I would the silence. And then, last but not least, obviously, for the 24th time with me, we have my co-host, Michael, from the channel Truth Under Tension. And his channel is also linked down in the description.
Yes, sir.
So, Michael, what do you think?
Man, what I'm thinking is we got a couple of great guests today, so it's time to have
We really do, man. I am stoked. And once again, to both of our guests, thank you for coming on to our show.
No problem.
And sorry, I had the
we did a whole show before the show started.
We did the whole thing.
It was a great show.
We were just kind of I just wanted to kind of, get to know you guys a little better real quick. But Garrett, you've got a pretty full schedule, don't you, man?
Yeah.
You do the Nerdrotic, and you were just on Louder with Crowder yesterday.
Yep.
And are you allowed to tell me where Crowder's at? He's been gone for 3 days now.
I don't know. I don't know. They said, hey, Dave is hosting. Do you want to be in third channel? I was like, yeah. So they said he was sick.
Yeah.
But I haven't talked to him yet. I haven't reached out.
Oh, okay. Do you know if you don't know if it's anything to do with his previous complications he had?
I'm not sure. I don't think it would be though. It's been a while. He should be healed up from that.
If you get to talk to him anytime soon or whenever, and if you think about it, just let him know. I hope he gets better soon.
Yeah, man.
And tell Dave he is a funny MF.
Oh yeah, I do every day. In the middle of the night, I wake up and I go, Dave, you're so fucking funny.
He really is, man. It's so awesome. They did. I don't know. I looked at their schedule like a month ago or maybe 6 weeks, and they didn't have the Nashville show listed. And then out of nowhere, my buddy, who's also a Mug Club member, sends me a screenshot of his tickets to the show in Nashville. I guess they're coming through Nashville. And I was like, what the heck, dude? How did you get that? I said, I didn't even know they were having a show.
I have not seen one of their live shows. I didn't get an invite. They did the first show in Dallas, and they didn't tell me.
Damn.
The day after, I texted Gerald, and I was like, so how was the show? And he just goes, oh, no, I'm sorry. We were setting everything up. We were doing all this stuff, and I forgot to send you. I was like, it's fine. It's fine.
Man.
I leave the show, and you just completely forget about me. It's fine.
I once accidentally walked up on them. They were doing a live show from my neighborhood years ago. Outside,
Really?
When remember when Shia LaBeouf had that
Oh yeah,
performance art exhibit.
yeah. Was that in
Where he
Brooklyn?
like rage about Trump into a camera.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
he will not
Okay.
divide
Not
us.
divide us.
Yes!
He will not divide
Yeah,
us.
he will not divide us. That was funny.
Yeah, they did a live show right from there.
Yeah. One of the main reasons I got into Crowder so much was from the Change My Minds, and it really makes me
That's a lot of people. Yeah.
so irritated that the colleges are less and less inclined, or less and less likely to allow him onto their campuses nowadays.
Mhm.
From what I understand, that's why we don't get nearly as many Change My Minds anymore.
Yeah, it got really difficult because like any campus ground, they wouldn't let us do a show on. We'd have to do it in like a public sidewalk or something in the area, which is like you're not going to get any through traffic there. You're just not.
Yeah. I had my buddy. He commented. He said, "I'm the buddy going to in November. I'll buy an extra ticket next time, Chris." Yeah, that's fine, man. Take your lady and y'all have a good time. I appreciate you coming to the show. Who's echoing? Who is echoing?
Oh, is
Not
there an
anymore.
echo?
It's gone. It's gone. It did echo
it's
for like
gone.
a couple seconds.
I got you. And then we got Laura. So, Quarter Black, Laura Cox, she is one of the admins of the Mug Club members chat group on Facebook.
Oh, on Facebook.
So, are you joined? I know Choi is, but
On
it's,
Facebook, I don't use Facebook.
Oh, well, I don't blame you.
I have not used it in like 10 years.
I buy and sell vehicles, and now that Craigslist charges you to list a vehicle, it's just more practical for me to use.
Oh yeah, I know.
Marketplace.
That's the only reason I use Facebook is the marketplace. I don't have like an account, but I just go in there and my mom has an account, so I just go through that way.
Is that like a real marketplace though? Because maybe it's just here, but it's just all like foot massages and shit. You know what they mean?
Dude,
by that.
those are all over the marketplace. It's weird. They're like stone massage, and I'm like, what is a stone massage? I don't get that.
Yeah. See, I set the filter to local only, and I guess that must be a Texas thing there. No, I haven't seen any of that. I have seen some weird stuff there. Repair Gang says Twitter is shit too. Oh yeah, I'm actually.
That's true.
Forgot. I'm wearing my Hodge Twin shirt.
There you go.
My fiance got this for me for my birthday, I believe.
Where's my wallet? Let me show you what I got.
The fuck?
Hold on.
You want to do?
Hold on. Where is my?
Titus.
You got to get one of these, okay? Do you have one of these?
Let's see.
Oh, the white privilege
the
card.
white
No, I
privilege
do
card.
not have.
You got to get one of
those
these,
yet.
man.
Oh,
Yes,
It gets me all
yeah.
kinds of things, I just show it to the restaurant, and they don't even make me pay. They just leave.
Dude.
I
Where'd
think
you
you
get
have to,
that,
like,
man?
cut
I
a
need
quarter
one.
of it
'cause I
off.
don't
You
have
get
any of that.
3/4.
Yeah, I
of
got
the
to cut.
card.
I wanted to get the race card. They also have the race card. At least they did. So I
Like,
have
sew
both
them
of them.
together.
Yeah, because you can use both of them. Because you know,
Yeah.
quarter black,
It
3/4 white,
provides,
and soon to be 3/4 jacked.
Soon
So
to be.
we're
Soon to be.
a little off the intended introductory topic, but who cares? As long as the audience is having a good time and you guys are having a good time, that's all that matters.
We're winging
Sorry.
it.
I was just trying to catch up on the chat, guys. I'm sorry. My computer screen's down here, and then my camera's up here. So
That's
I'm
how it
having
is.
no idea.
I got so many screens,
Yeah,
I got chat over here.
All of a sudden, we get two great guests on and we get super popular in the chat. It's fantastic.
Hey,
Fantastic. Hey, man,
Guys,
but whatever.
we got Diggs. That's a buddy of yours, my
Yes,
co-host
sir.
Michael.
Thanks for coming through, man.
Let's see what Brian Garrett has to cut 25% off of that car.
Just the corner. Just got the corner there.
That's good. He's pretty funny. He always has been.
I
We
like
worked
that.
together. We worked at this sawmill. Man, it was back when I was still Garrett. Fill you in on the backstory real quick. I was on drugs for a long time. Heroin, drug, mainly pills, opiates, pain pills. So
I'm glad you're not.
well, I
Glad
appreciate
you're off,
it.
man.
Damn, good for you.
One
Yeah,
of my primary
congratulations.
goals I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. And I do appreciate it, both of you guys. One of my main goals when I first started this channel was actually to help other addicts, but it didn't get any traction because I wanted to show them, like you don't have to stay stuck in that lifestyle.
Mhm.
So, anyway, back then when we were working at the sawmill, I'm 6'3". I probably weighed 160 pounds. And Brian would always give me a hard time and be like, man, you need a steak and a push-up.
Damn.
Because I didn't have any chest, bony shoulders and everything. But
So you look like me.
I can't tell you. You got the jacket on, but I would wager that you are more fit than I was because there's a difference in being like just
Emaciated and
and
shredded, right?
I just look like a junkie without actually being one.
Just natural.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
junkie with great hair.
Oh, man.
Junkie
No,
with gray hair.
you do got great hair. I envy your hair because mine turns into a mop if it gets any longer than this.
You envy his hair? You envy his hair? Yeah. Let's try that, dude.
Awesome.
I feel like I've never actually seen your hair, Garrett.
Mine?
You're like the Tim Pool of
Yeah.
caps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, don't compare.
Sometimes, yeah, man. Sometimes I
compare him
go
to
with no
Tim
cap.
Pool. Not cool.
It's not cool.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't.
look,
I mean,
Look,
he's.
Oh,
look at that.
shit.
it's not. You know,
Look, it's all there.
I haven't
Now, I
done
knew
anything
he
with
had
it.
long, luscious hair. I must have seen that on one of
I'm gonna
his
trim it up soon, I think.
streams.
No, I like it.
But no, I don't have anything against Tim Pool. I just some of the things, basically like with anybody, some of the things he says, I'm just like, no. I just don't agree with, which you'll have that with most people. Some people more than most, obviously. But,
I'm an Adam fan.
Yes.
Adam. That's where it's at.
Hell yes.
Adam.
Adam Krigler.
Is
The
he
Kriggs.
on?
He used to be his co-host. He started the show with Adam.
Oh, okay. So he was on the podcast. Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
It kind of went downhill without him.
Yeah.
Well, I just I've watched a few of his podcasts, and it's not like I disagree with him to the level of disagreeing with, say, AOC or something like that. I don't feel like he is just actively trying to lead people astray, but I feel like some of his positions lack a little bit of perspective, if you know what I mean.
Heavily.
So
I'm
for
glad
me,
he doesn't do as much anymore. But I'm really a liberal thing. That drives me nuts.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but live in reality, because today being like a real liberal just means you're right leaning. Like, just accept it and deal with it.
Like Tulsi Gabbard just today left the Democratic Party, and like finally you needed to do that for years.
And these people who are like, oh, be an independent. No, screw you. We need to consolidate as Republicans. Like, have different views. Just become a damn Republican.
Sadly, that's how it works. That's how it's hard to have a third party, because you're just not going to have the same kind of traction you will if you have one of the two sides. So you have to play the Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it really is the Game of Thrones. I can't tell you how many scenes out of that show I see, and I'm like, this is exactly what's going on in our modern days.
I feel like I had this shit right all along, because for so many years people gave me shit that I never watched Game of Thrones, and now I get to like laugh in all their faces because everyone is bitching about it but me.
Well, the new show's okay, but man, that last season. The last season was so brutal. It's so brutal. It's bad. It's bad.
I heard all about it.
Oh, of Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Definitely. Did you watch the most recent episode of House of the Dragon?
No, don't tell me.
I
actually enjoy that show.
I do.
Not bad.
I do too.
I went into it going like, I don't want to be hurt again. Last time you hurt me deep.
No doubt,
okay.
dude.
But I slowly went and I was like, okay, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the only show I've gotten into watching is the Chucky show.
Is that good?
It is, but it just like I could just do with like 90% less gay shit.
Oh, is there a lot of gay
stuff? I don't
stuff?
want to hear about it. It just.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, isn't there? Yeah, it's like The kid. Isn't the kid that has the Chucky doll, he's gay or something like that?
Well, it's not just that he's gay. It's that, like, it occasionally feels like there's someone standing behind you, tapping you on the shoulder, lecturing you about, like,
Oh, okay. One of those
I don't want to hear
shows.
it. I don't want to hear it. Go away.
Repair Gang, I was going to respond in chat, but this was actually supposed to be towards the end of the show, what we're discussing right now. But regardless, you know,
We already had our show before the show
we're
even
kinda-
started.
Yeah. It's a private show.
both of our guests, right? They come from political backgrounds, culture, pop culture backgrounds or whatever, and current events affect all of us. It doesn't matter what the genre of the channel is or whatever. I mean, it's affecting all of us. It's affecting even health and fitness related. Politics are affecting our ability to eat healthy. I used to spend $4 on a pound of free range chicken, and now I'm spending $8.
Right? Dude,
So-
I just got into this like this year, into like doing meal preps and buying chicken. Like myself, my wife usually did all the shopping. So whenever I wanted to start eating better, I was like, no, I need to go to the store. I need to buy the stuff so I know what I'm gonna be eating.
Right.
It was like a weird mental thing. She was like, why do you need to do that? I'll just go to the store. I was like, no. Don't get my stuff. I need to go do it. Which helped a lot, which is strange. But like noticing the just this year, the price jump is crazy. So it is sad that like everything, because I used to be, and I still am, like I don't want to hear politics in every single facet of my life, because kill me, please.
No.
But it's like, it's sad because it ends up getting into it without, that's the whole the nerd culture stuff, is because all of the politics came into the nerd culture. It came into movies. It came into video games. It's like, you can't get away from it.
You can't. It's infiltrated everything. It's crazy. So what I find more interesting is the fact, you're talking about, doing health and fitness from a grocery standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes it difficult. But what I see as the biggest hindrance as far as health and fitness is concerned, as it relates to politics, is the fact that we celebrate now really what is unhealthy rather than healthy. And so then those of us who want to continue to encourage a healthy lifestyle and fitness, we actually we're labeled like bigots and body shaming and things of that nature. So I think that really plays into it as well on just the ground level. You can't even start the conversation without being called an asshole. Basically saying, "Oh, so you think I'm, disgusting and fat? Why don't you love me? This is normal."
Yeah.
Kind of stuff.
Are you implying that it's unhealthy to be 400 pounds? It's not brave and beautiful?
Exactly.
I'm not implying anything. I'm saying, if you guys, I know y'all are both busy, but we actually did a show, and my fiance is in school right now to be a pharmacy tech, so she had to take A&P 1 and 2. So I had just last year, as of, what was it, 6 months ago, I had the latest data set of, what they teach soon to, for future doctors and whatnot. It's basically the same. Whether you're going to be a nurse or a doctor, the beginning of the schooling and the programs, they're basically all the same. Like, she's going to be a pharmacy tech, but she has to go do an internship at the hospital, So anyway, she has the A&P book. And what was it, Michael, that the topic was, and I had to prove them wrong or something using the facts from that, that I had pulled out of that. I
remember that show.
It included studies, and I asked her where that book was the other day, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know." Like, woman, how much did we spend on that? She's in the other room. We got thin walls, so I'm like, no, for real.
That's why the wood paneling.
I need that. I run a fitness channel. It is handy to have, anatomy and physiology book that, can.
I'm surprised they haven't banned it.
I was
anatomy.
When she first got it, I was like, let me look at that. and I went through it, and I was like, okay, cool.
So
It's
the
not-
books that they're still handing out are factually correct. It's all of the
As-
people talking about it. Is that what it is?
as of
Yeah, what year was it
Jackson
written?
State, Jackson, Tennessee State University. So
Okay.
I don't,
So
you know,
Tennessee, pretty base state.
yeah.
I would like to compare to like California. What does their textbook look like?
Oh, that could
Well-
be a nightmare.
not just like on a state basis, but the well-known schools, you know,
Yeah.
like the ones that have become really woke. I don't know. I feel like maybe Harvard was.
Stanford, Yale,
yeah,
Harvard.
yeah.
I mean,
It's
obviously,
everywhere, though.
all the
I have-
California.
I have
campuses
friends
are-
in like friggin' Idaho and shit who say that their schools are woker than woke. So it's everywhere. It's not even
Yeah.
just New York or California.
It was a brilliant plan to do that, though. You take all of your ideas and you infuse it into like the colleges, and then that's where all the kids go into every single field that you can think of. You know, your lawyers, your artists, going into all the fields, and then they take the little idea seeds that you have, and then they sprout them out in the public, and that's why we have it everywhere right now. You get them at
Yeah.
the base.
Yeah, I've
Laura, if you don't get his channel in trouble, I will.
no, just to be clear for everyone in the chat and in the show, there are no, I don't censor anything.
Nope.
I'm not worried about YouTube taking away my 200 and maybe 60 subscribers now. You know, if anything, we would just run the show on Michael's channel until I got another channel up. So
Oh, I've
say
talked
what you
about way
say.
worse stuff on my channel.
We are pro
We
speech.
haven't said anything bad yet.
Like-
Give us a couple minutes.
yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
Give
Yeah.
us a couple. We're just
No, I just
starting.
wanted to be clear. Like, you don't have to hold anything back. I mean, obviously, nothing that's, you know, basically stupid, like a 14-year-old kid would say, basically. But, you know,
Every horrible
Well,
thing I can think of is entering my head.
Just flooding in.
Yeah.
but yes, we don't abide by the, you know, YouTube guidelines, so to speak. We're more
Right.
like constitutionalist. And if Google doesn't like that, they can shove it up their ass.
There you go. That is the
No,
way.
You
So,
did it.
we got some questions for the guest.
Let's
What do
dive
you
in,
guys
man.
think? I think we've already touched on a few. Well, this one is a really good one. So I'll ask the question. We'll let Quarter Black answer first, and then we'll let Mike answer. Does that cool?
Yeah, let's go.
Cool.
All right, bet. So, what or who do you find most helpful or motivating to you or for you to maintain a healthy lifestyle?
I'd say my family, because that's what kind of seeing my kids, and I talked about this with Adam before on his channel, seeing my kids start to get older and they're getting like chubbier. I started going like, okay, it's because of me. It's not because of them. You know, they'll eat whatever I put in front of them. So I need to start setting an example for them so they don't end up being what all these other kids out there. They can't run, they can't jump, they can't play like they could if they were fit. So it was just like early on, I was like, I don't want to, because you know it's really easy to make a kid feel self-conscious about it. So you don't want to go to them and be like, hey, stop eating or stop doing whatever. So I started trying to think about it in a different way. How do I curb that without having to go to them about it? So it turned into, you know, it's me because I'm the adult, I'm the example. So that's what got me motivated in doing it. And then I had a son just now, and I want to be a good example for him. So that, and then just trying to be on top of it myself and keeping this is so that's who. That's the who that motivates me. What is this water bottle? I have this water bottle. It's a Camelback. It's a double layered water bottle. It keeps it cold. I left this water out last night. It's still cold. So it
Is
keeps
your
me on
merch
track.
line?
What?
Is this your merch line?
No, I wish. Hey, if you want to sponsor me, Camelback. But dude, it's done wonders for my drinking, because you drink a lot of sodas, or like in Texas, tea, sweet tea.
Yep.
And it's really, really bad. So drinking water, and I love water, and especially cold water, so it's really good for that. So those are the two things.
Awesome. Mike?
Oh God, I think it's maybe like just people knowing people like you guys, or seeing people like you guys, because I do not live the most healthy, anything resembling it. I'm at least I like quit smoking cigarettes, which is like a little bit better.
That's great.
Still vaping.
That is awesome.
I think I'm hopefully moving to Florida in the next couple months, so I think just having thoughts of like sunshine and beaches and being able to like go out and do things is motivating me to. I gotta quit drinking soda. That's what you said. I'm like a cokehead with soda.
Yeah, it's difficult.
So the thing with sodas, see, when I was 21, my mom had me when she was really young. She got pregnant with me when she was 17. She had me when she was 18. When I was 21, my mom never touched a drug. She never smoked a cigarette. I mean, she would have a margarita on her birthdays, and that was about it. And she was
sounds like my mom.
Pretty well active, right?
Exactly.
My mind.
When I was 21, I was at my house, and I hear my front door just bust open. I was in my bedroom rolling a joint or a blunt or something, and I'm like, who in the, I'm like, who has the nerve to bust him? And it's my little sister, and she just walks in my room, and I look at her, and I'm like, and she just said, "Mom's dead." And I just looked at her like she was crazy. Like, how is that possible? I just saw her yesterday, But she had an aneurysm, and it ruptured. Nobody ever knew anything was wrong or anything.
Terrifying.
She was just gone. And
crazy.
Yeah, it was obviously life-changing. But I forget what I was gonna say.
Soda.
Yeah, well,
that's what started us on that. Is it soda?
That's a horrible
yeah.
transition, Garrett.
So my grandma, my mom's mom, is convinced it is because of sodas, because my mom would drink Coca-Cola. Like religiously, she would drink Coca-Cola. I don't mean she would drink a whole bunch each day, but at least like once a day she would have a soda.
Right.
Yeah.
And and my grandma is convinced that it was the Coca-Cola. And it's not just the caffeine in it either. I mean, in one 12-ounce can, there's like maybe 40 or 50 milligrams of caffeine, maybe a little more. But yeah, there's the sugar. But have you guys seen the video that they pour the Coke into something resembling like your intestines or something, and it shows how it looks like tar, basically? Yeah, that is.
Well, if you ever look at soda separated from the CO2 that goes into it and makes it the liquid, it's just syrup. It's like thick, sticky sugar. And that's all it is. And whenever it goes in your body, it turns back into that.
Absolutely.
And then your body digests it. So yeah, it's a really bad thing, and it's tastes really good.
We all know that the thing about sodas is the sugar. It's not the caffeine. There's not enough caffeine for it to really affect you negatively, cardiovascularly wise, unless you're drinking 3 or 4 or 5 in a sitting. But it's definitely the sugar that knocks you down, most certainly. But what I wanted to ask something here, so I'm going back to the question here, Chris, is as far as from Garrett's point of view, I can relate to like his motivation, right? Mike, I don't know if you have any children, or even maybe you might be an uncle or something like that.
I barely have plants.
But here's the thing. So
like, if you know somebody who wants to like get knocked up with me, or like, I don't know, have at least nice China patterns or something.
I know.
Hey, like, let me know.
I know, right? Well, but here's the thing, though, is the way I look at it as far as motivationally, right, for as far as fitness is concerned. Now, if you are a parent, and parents out there can relate, Garrett, as you said, it is a primary motivation of folks like us. And the way I look at it is I have children that are growing up, and as they grow up, they're going to want to run and play. And so I need to be able to do that. Or
Yeah.
in my head, that's what I'm telling myself. I have to be prepared to run and play. I have to keep up. And then I take it one step further, is I say one day my children will be grown and I will then have grandchildren. That's when I get to have a lot of fun, right? So there's a big difference between being a father. Garrett, Chris, tell me if I'm wrong. Big difference between being a father and then a grandfather. Right. As a father, you have the responsibility of being their parental guidance, right? You can't just play with them and have fun all the time. You can't be their best friend. You have to be their father. But when I'm looking forward to me running and playing with my kids, teaching them a healthy lifestyle, leading by example. And then further, I still want to have the get up and go. And whenever I have grandkids, I can still kick ass and run circles around the yard with them. That's I'm telling you, that's my motivation anyhow.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, the thing about being a dad is sometimes you have to be disciplinary, even though it sucks. Especially my son's 3 now. And he's getting, they always talk about terrible 2s, but I think it's terrible 3s, really. He's becoming more willful.
They start pushing those boundaries and they go, okay, I know what the rules are.
Right.
What can I get away with? That's the age where they start figuring that out.
Which is
and
good.
Then if you let them, it's great. Yeah, you need kids to always push. You always got to question. Don't just blindly listen to authority. That's something my parents always taught me to do, right? And that's what got me here. So it's good. But if you're a kid and you're pushing the boundaries and you just get you're just like, oh, I can just do that. I just keep doing it, and then I keep doing it, and then it gets worse and worse and worse, and then you have a bunch of brats that do whatever they want to do, and
100%.
then or criminals on the other side. A whole nother angle is like they keep pushing those boundaries, nobody's pushing back, and then you have criminals. So yeah, it really does start when they're 2 and when they're 3, and telling them how, look, this is how you act, this is how you treat yourself, this is how you treat other people. It's a very important age to start putting those values in.
100%. And that's going to be taught more through your actions. I've learned that the hard way many times, because none of us here are perfect. I'm far from perfect. And so there's many times from my perspective as a father, I've said things and not done them. And the kids will follow what I do rather than what I say. And then I have the audacity to be angry with them whenever they do what I do rather than what I say.
Right.
So you got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How old are your kids?
My kids are 9 and 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
So, it's a great age. They're fun, man. But I tell you, if you ever want to feel old, have kids. That's what I say all the time, because you actually get to witness time fly.
Dude.
Because, as an adult, you don't change. You look at yourself in the mirror. How long does it take for you to see a difference? A decade? So time seems like it can slow down. But as soon as you have some kids, it's like a daily reminder that, yes, time is in fact flying by and we need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, my son is he's 11, about to be 12, and it is like he was just a baby. What is going on? How is this? He's already, and then I always do this to my wife, and she hates it because I'm like, hey, he's about to be 12, which means he's about to be 16, which means he's about to be an adult. All right, and she's like, slow down, stop, and I'm like, no, but like that is about to happen. Yes. I can see it like right on the horizon. He's going to be an adult right there. Because he's made it this far, and that was boom, done.
Yeah.
And he's moving on. So
right around the corner.
Ugh.
Right around the corner.
Scary.
Yeah, I say it's like as soon as my kid was born, somebody just hit the fast forward button.
Mm-hmm.
It feels that way.
It really does. It's ridiculous to think that he's already 3. It literally feels like it maybe 3 or 4 months ago that he was born, until I sit there and think about, okay, he's been through, we did it, and and then when you break it down and think of all the milestones and everything, then you're like, okay. But I actually researched the reason that as we get older, time seems to go by quicker, and it's really interesting. And I can tell you pretty quickly. It may have been Jordan Peterson that I learned it from, actually. But anyway, so when you're 5 years old, per se, 1 year is 1/5 of your life. So 1/5 of your life seems like a really long time. But when you're 40, 1 year is only 1/40th of your life. Doesn't seem like that much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you break that down into smaller, measurements, then it just, it seems to go by more quickly. And especially in the mind, because the mind remembers being 5. You remember like the entire process, the entire timeline. So the longer the timeline gets, the smaller each interval seems.
Yeah.
And
I've got a quick question for our boy Mike here. So I hung on to one thing you said previously, and I want to congratulate you again about quitting smoking. All right. So I want to know how did you motivate yourself to actually quit smoking? And the reason why I ask is multiple reasons, but I know the struggles of the struggles that smokers go through to quit, and I know it's one of the hardest things that people can do. And it has been equated to being even more difficult than, quitting some major illicit drugs, crack cocaine, to many people that I've spoken with in my 20 plus years in cardiovascular healthcare. So how did you quit? What caused you to say, okay, I'm done, and then motivate you to continue that journey, right? Because you could slip right back into it.
I think, okay, so like, I feel like I need to put a little asterisk to not give myself too much credit, but I used the one with no nicotine, but I'm vaping. But I feel like it's no nicotine, so it's like it could be worse. But no, it's because I'm a super vain bitch, because I saw this thing of like these people who aged and they got Botox and it didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I can't let that happen. And then I saw another thing of this guy who reached like 40 and he smoked all the time. And they said he couldn't get it up or something. Because I'm like, okay, no, I'm not letting any of this happen.
Damn.
Gotta stop.
Quit.
That was probably more related to his hormone imbalance.
Whatever. Dude, well,
I'm gonna look like shit if I
But
keep smoking.
I'll tell you this, Mike. I smoked cigarettes for a while. I never really, I grew up on the farm, so I did for a really long time. And then I went to smoking cigarettes. When I went from smoking cigarettes to using the vape, even my doctor was like, I was like, well, it's better. I told her I'd switch to vaping, and I was like, well, it's better than cigarettes. And she was like, meh, maybe. And I was like, it is. I could physically feel a difference when I would go run a mile or a 5K, which is 3 miles. I could tell a tremendous difference within the first week. I had more endurance. I could, take deeper breaths, which would, I could breathe, whenever I would breathe, it was like it's hard to explain, kind of, I guess, absorb the oxygen more, because instead of burning what are the little things in your lungs called, cilia or something like that, the ones that capture the oxygen?
Hey, that sounds about right.
Well, whatever it is, they get burnt. They turn black, and they literally become burned when you smoke cigarettes. So instead of doing that, you're just getting vape oil on them.
They banned them here too, which is so ridiculous.
Did they?
They banned basically like everything except, there's some technicality or something. So I have there's like my one vape shop where they'll sell it to me from the back room, and it's super shady. But they ban everything here. They banned plastic bags here. They ban everything.
You're still in New York. Dude. Gosh, that is ridiculous.
I'm praying I will be out of here by the end of the year.
We are wishing you safe travels, and definitely get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
It sucks because I'm from here. I've lived here forever. So it's like, and my parents are elderly and they've had health problems. So I'm getting them out too. I was like, I'm not leaving without you guys. So I'm trying to get my whole family out of here, basically.
Dang, dude.
So
Yeah.
terrible. It's crazy.
New York's a great place to visit. Doesn't seem like
Yeah.
it's a great place
Not
to
even
live.
anymore.
Is it changed? Last time I went
Oh.
was 2019, before the
Even then,
2020.
it was like,
Yeah.
2020 was kind of like the nail in the coffin, but even then, it
Yeah.
had kind of gone down.
Really?
Were you ever here before that? Like way before?
No.
That's
I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
was
it
better
used
than
to
that?
be. It's just everyone avoids each other. Everyone looks down. It's like all the things that made New York just don't exist
I
anymore.
love that. I don't want anybody to look at me. Nobody talk at me.
I don't even want to.
I met a lot of
what your cost
nice people,
living
though.
is there.
That was like the opposite. They always built it up like New York's full of people that are mean and angry at each other and whatnot. And I went there. I just met a bunch of nice people. Like everybody was nice.
They were. I think that changed in 2020.
Oh, I'm sure.
Now
Yeah,
they're-
the
now they're all
isolation.
like COVID Karens.
Yeah,
These people still wear masks walking around on the subway, walking outside. I went to a movie the other
Crazy.
night. More than half the people there had masks on.
crazy. I'll see one every once in a while in Texas. You'll see one in their car, and you're like, "What are you doing?" But it's very few and far between. I can't imagine still having half a theater.
I literally had to go last October was when they started the mandates here, and I was like, I'm not getting it. So I literally flew to Texas to go see the Halloween movie that came out.
Nice.
So the other day I went in the gas station, and in Tennessee, it's like you were saying, Garrett, every now and then you'll see somebody wearing a mask. And it was after, they had, because they did strongly encourage, if you will, people to wear masks for a while. But so I go in the gas station, and this was maybe 3 weeks ago. And this dude, and I mean, he's a big guy. I'm 6'3", and I was looking up at him, and he probably had another, I don't know, 75 pounds on me, and I'm 200 pounds. And he's wearing a mask. And I'm like, are they still making y'all wear masks, bro? And he's like, no, I just choose to. And I was just like, why? He says,
What was the rationalization?
He claims that it's just his choice. Like he didn't even really have and it wasn't like a KN95 or anything like that. It was like just a regular one of those surgical masks that you see, like the ones they pass out at Walmart.
Yeah, it's your choice to wear it, and it's my choice to think you're a dumb fuck.
Yeah. I laughed in his face.
Good.
And I just let it go at that. But Laura says, I strongly oppose using a drug like Chantix to quit smoking. A friend of mine was out on that, and she nearly came close to killing herself because of the side effects. It probably messes with your brain chemistry. I mean, obviously it does. If it's, that's where addiction originates, is in the brain. So
I'm just kind of against prescription drugs in general.
Yeah.
I'm against big pharma for sure, but I do believe that there are some medications that can be beneficial when used properly.
Oh, like insulin, that's a medication that you are prescribed, right? So there's like some things that are necessary for people, and there's all the 90% of things that it seems that are not necessary for people.
But they try to market it as necessary.
Exactly. Ask your doctor.
Well, and a lot of these doctors are just glorified drug dealers at this point.
Right, yeah.
That's the worst part. And we have a pharmaceutical sales industry that is incentivized for people to prescribe as much shit as possible.
Certainly.
That's
Which is why we don't have any cures anymore. We just have treatments.
That's how the entire opioid epidemic began, is because the pharmaceutical companies, they came out, they had already been using the poppy plant to make some other, I think it was whatever it was before Oxycontin. And then I think it was the 70s, or it might have been early 80s. They started marketing the Oxycontin to the doctors and the pharmacists, saying that, oh, it's magic, basically, telling them. And when the doctors, I watched these interviews of like several doctors, and they all said, when they deliberately asked, what are the side effects, they said little to none. when they asked,
Wow.
is it addictive? Have the studies shown it to be addictive? No. They didn't just say, we don't know, like Dr. Falsey. They straight up said no. And then Dave mentioned it on the Crowder show about his grandpa, how they pumped him full and gave him all these prescriptions.
My grandpa's the same way.
Yeah,
That's
and
my mom.
He's got terrible back pain. He had it all his life because he worked on a ranch, his whole life. So he has a lot of injuries from that, just over time. So they just pumped him full of painkillers, and then all of a sudden, now that we've had this opioid epidemic, they treat him like he's a crackhead. Like he went to the streets to go get drugs. He's like, no, this is what you put me on. I'm at this level. I can't get off of those things. So then they cut him. He's 80, 87 years old. They cut him cold turkey. They cut him cold turkey from this. And he went through withdrawals and all the stuff at 87.
That's bad.
And they didn't seem to give a shit. They're like, oh no, you're just a drug addict. You want these drugs so you can go get high. It's like, do you think this old man wants to get high? No, he wants to not have pain. He wants to not have to be, shackled to this drug that you put him on.
Right.
It's so like the whole Fauci thing. It's so irresponsible to just put people on these things and not think about the consequences.
Lisa Black, that's my stepmom. She says OxyContin was supposed to be non-addictive because it was time release, but they would the drug addicts would break it down. But time released or not, they'll still form a dependency over time. Especially with it's one thing to have a surgery and then temporarily be put on a medication. Then it's not so bad. But for, say, veterans or somebody who is hurt and more, and then they get put on it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Then for them to be taken off, that is basically, I went to rehab, right? 80% of the people that were in there because of the new government mandates or regulations saying that their doctors couldn't prescribe them pain pills anymore. So they went out on the street and got heroin.
Oh, God.
And they would go out on the street looking for pills, but they were too expensive. And whenever they would get to their dealer, they would have the pills, but they'd say, but this is cheaper and this lasts longer. And that's how they got hooked on heroin.
Jesus.
And now it's not, they're marketing the drug dealers, they're marketing it as heroin, but it's fentanyl, which comes from China to the Mexico border and then comes up into the United States. But on to the next question anyway. If you guys
beautiful segue. It was beautiful.
Unless I was going to say
that was almost as good as your segue.
almost.
I'm still learning. Let's see. So what are y'all's fitness goals? I know you want to lose weight, Garrett, but what that can't be the only thing, right?
Well, yeah, I'd like to lose weight and like you were saying earlier, Michael, is just like being able to run around with my kids and keep up with them. And, I'm not trying to be a huge jacked person. It'd be cool to get muscly for a little bit, get jacked for a little bit and be like, I did it. And then just go back down to a regular size. But I think just like a realistic goal is just losing the weight and being more active and like cardiovascular health and being, because I just like, I've never had that. This year, I ran, just straight ran, not walk, not jog. I ran for 5 minutes straight. And I've never done that since I was like 10. Damn. I just never did it.
5 minutes straight.
And I was like, I got off and I wasn't completely destroyed. I was tired, but I was like, I texted my bros and I was like, guys, I just ran for 5 minutes. Holy shit. Oh, whoa, that's awesome.
That really is.
But, you know, like, it's something that I don't, at least me, I never thought about. I never thought about running. I never had to run. I've skateboarded and longboard, but that's not the same. Like, a continuous run for me was just not anything I ever tried to do, because I was just like, I get tired. I don't want to do it. I can do a sprint, but not a full run. And then I did, and I was like, that's something I couldn't do, that I didn't know I couldn't do, and now I
Right.
can. So it's like finding those kind of things that I'm uncovering about, like, physical health, and I like go, okay, I didn't know I couldn't do that, but I can now.
Yes.
So that's what's really interesting to me, keeping me on that track.
Absolutely.
What about you, Mike?
What was the question again?
What are your goals?
Oh God.
Fitness
I don't want
goals.
to end up like one of those skinny fat people. That's horrible. If you've never seen somebody who's skinny fat, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
But no, I've just been so miserable being stuck here. I feel like I'm in exile the last year with the mandates and everything, and the city being what it is now. So I've just been so miserable, but I'm so dead set against like antidepressants and all that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna work out and be less miserable, and also move out of New York. So it's kind of more like a mental thing, even though I'm like a vain bitch also.
Well, really, it is mental no matter which way you look at it. Whether you're looking at it for aesthetics or you just want to feel better. Once and I wanted to comment on what Garrett said as well, is, you ran for 5 minutes, which is, I don't even know if I could do that right now, honestly. And
Same.
I try to get as much cardio in as I can. I live right in front of like a 3-mile track that goes through the woods and all kinds of stuff. And whenever it's rainy or I don't feel like running the trail, I'll just hop on the treadmill at the gym. But I usually will run, and then when I feel like I'm starting to get tired, I'll sprint instead. I'll sprint, and then I'll slow down and I'll walk, and I'll kind of catch my breath, But I think last time I did a 5K, which is 3 miles, I think it took me like 27 minutes or something. Like nothing impressive at all. But I wasn't like striving for, I wasn't trying to be like, oh, I can do a 5K in this. I was just, the primary focus is, like Garrett said, cardiovascular health. The heart is the most important muscle, as Coach Greg always says it is. It really is. And when it becomes weak, your blood pressure goes bad. You will, you're more likely to have a higher resting heart rate. Your heart is more like you're more likely to suffer from a heart attack, obviously. But my co-host here, Michael, is a cardiovascular specialist.
Yeah.
But the thing is, running, I can run for an entire month, say like twice a week, right? If I hop on a bike and ride for 5 miles or even 3, the next day or next 2 days, my legs are going to be sore as shit. Just any kind of like changes in activity, always like it. I don't know, it's just the body adapting, I suppose. But yeah, so Mike, how tall are you?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 6 foot.
Okay, so you're kind of you probably.
I'd still be looking up at you.
Well, a little bit, but you seem to have a similar build to me, like the frame and.
I fucking wish.
Do you always have a 6-pack, basically, though? Like your abs show?
Oh yeah, totally.
No, I'm being serious.
Kicking.
Like I've gotten up to like 21% body fat, and my top 4 abs still show. It's just genetics.
I'm maybe like your
abs show. It's a yes or no question, Mike. Come on, man.
Sometimes it depends. I don't know. No, not really.
Okay, well, there's a very common myth that you have to do crunches and leg raises and all this. You don't have to do any of that to get abs. You have abs. Everybody has abs.
What do you do?
You have
Mike's
to
like, come on, man, give me the juice.
Give me the secrets.
you have to consume energy in a deficit until your body uses the stored energy, which is fat, until the body fat that is covering your abs is no longer there.
So what does that mean?
Lose weight.
The easiest way to break that down, since she got scientific, is just to say that you just got to burn the fat. So at some point you have to work in a deficit, eat less, than you require, so that the fat burns and the muscles are underneath. And that goes with any body, of course. We all do need a level of fat on our bodies to perform well. But yeah, absolutely. There's no such thing as targeted, exercise where you can target a muscle group. There's no such thing as that. That's complete bullshit. There's nothing that's going to do that, where you target certain, portions of the body and burn fat off portions of the body. You lose fat as a whole. And so some people, of course, lose it more quickly in their abdomen or off of their face or wherever you may carry it. Everybody has their problem areas per se, but it's all about fat reduction, man. I mean, your abs are there, dude. Don't sweat it.
Did you say eat less? I'm Italian. That is hate speech.
Well, you don't technically have to eat less so much as you need to know how much energy is in the food that you're eating, and energy is measured in calories. So basically the easiest way to do it is to take a week and write down everything that you eat and drink. Always include any dressings that you add to your salad, any sauces, anything. Check most everything has a nutrition label, and if it doesn't, you can get on Google and look it up. So you want to find your calorie maintenance. That is how much energy it takes for you to sustain your everyday activity. You can measure it. Some people I've talked to, I've set them up by the day, how much energy they use each day. Some people do it by the week. But basically, you want to figure out how much energy that you use and then subtract. And I recommend small steps. So if you're big on sodas, say you're drinking 3 a day, cut it to 2 for a week.
I'm getting that friggin' bottle. What is it?
Get it. It's a Camelback. So there's a bunch of different sizes too.
Yeah, man.
You're gonna be the second person I've sold a Camelback to.
They should give you like a friggin' merch.
Yeah,
I know.
you need that
to be my
affiliate.
sponsor. I need an affiliate link. Let's go.
Oh yeah, affiliate. By the way, I'm an affiliate with Coffee Brand Coffee. So if anybody wants to check out some Coffee Brand Coffee, click the link in the description, and you get a discount.
Nice.
Fit Dad Chris, one word, is the discount code at checkout.
Shameless plug.
Wait, it's
I'd forgotten about
like the back of a camel.
Yeah, Camelback.
Camelback
It's
Casino
spelled.
and Resort.
It's spelled.
I'm guessing that's not it.
There you go, like that.
By the way, hi Leah. That's my girl.
What's up, Leah?
Leah coming through.
In the house.
So I wanted to also add to the conversation a little bit more is when it comes to like your health and fitness, back to that, since we're done advertising. So when we get into health and fitness, the thing about your body and how you need to stay in tune with it is that someone always needs to be challenging themselves, because if you don't, you will never know when something is breaking down. Okay. It's the very same thing like with a car, I guess you could use as an example. If you don't drive it often and you just park it in your garage and don't ever take it out but once a year, by the time you get it out of the garage, there'll be more things run down and broke down on that thing than you'll ever know, because it's sat. And the body is very much something that is designed to move. We are designed to move. And I always say to my patients, when you stop moving, you start dying. And it's so true. And the reason for that is because I have countless people that will come into the office and tell me about their various ailments that they claim they never knew about, or I could ask them, oh, do you feel short of breath? Do you get chest pains? And they actually can't answer the question. And then when we take them through their cardiovascular testing, they got cardiovascular disease, and it's in an advanced state. And now we're in trouble. Right. So again, this feeds into what y'all were saying, but I think it's important that everybody, you have to challenge yourself always. So when Chris is over here talking about running his 5K, who cares what the time is? You're challenging yourself, right? You're going and doing it. You're finishing the races. Same thing with Mike here. Same thing with Garrett. Each of us have our individual challenges, and I think it's important to you guys to continue that. And I think it's important for our audience who may be catching this on playback or live to know that it's more important for you just simply to get out and move than for me to kind of dictate to you or try to preach to you what you should be doing, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm just here to ask you to move, because if you move and get things going, you're going to know when something doesn't work right. I would know for certain if I all of a sudden got a sudden onset of shortness of breath or chest pain or anything like that, because chest pain can also be very benign. Yeah, chest pain doesn't mean you're about to drop dead. There are different kinds of chest pain, but see, I would know that because I get out and I challenge myself kind of on a daily basis. So I think that's the most important thing that I want most people to take away from at least this part of our conversation, is that all I'm asking to do is move. If you move, when something's broken. That's it.
Yeah, the only person that you need to be in competition with is the person you were last week or last month, last year. You want to compete with your former self and always be triumphant. Mm-hmm. And I tell people to start small. Like we did a stream about New Year's resolutions and why we think they're bogus, because maybe 1 out of 1,000 people will stick to it, but as my co-host put it, you don't just flip a switch and all of a sudden, oh, I'm a gym bro and I work out 5 days a week. And, it comes more, it's something you have to kind of build. You got to set up a foundation. You got to, build your house on the rock, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So the way I did it was my rock bottom. I found out I was going to be a dad. I'm sorry, Garrett. How much time do you have left, dude? Do you need to go?
I got 20 minutes.
Are you sure? I appreciate you, dude. I know you.
No, that's all good. I just got to take my son to drum lessons.
Oh, sick, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes. I'm
advancing.
Drums.
Drums are expensive. That's all I have to say. I got like a rundown a used drum set, and it was still a lot of money. So, but it's pretty good to.
Do you have like a drum room?
It's his room. I just put it in his room.
Hell yeah.
Do you have the silencers? Is it acoustic or electric?
It's acoustic. What but I don't have like the drum pads on there. I need to get those.
What brand is it?
Yamaha?
That's not a bad brand.
I think it's a Yamaha.
That's a good set.
Yeah. Do you know which wood it is? Like
no.
birch or no. Yeah, I had my dream drum set up whenever I was like, I don't know, 17, 16. It was like a big Mapex double bass, It was basically Chris Adler's drum set from Lamb of God.
I wanted to go I need to get him the basic drum set. He doesn't know how to play drums, but he's got rhythm, and he's been going to classes for like a month or so. And I was like, I just need to get something that he could practice on, and then he could get a better drum set later.
Yeah. My dad, when I was younger, he was always talking about, because my family on my dad's side has always been huge into music. It's just in the family. My my grandpa went on tour across the country playing the banjo with his bluegrass band, and then my dad, you know, he grew up in the Eddie Van Halen era, so he was always shredding on his Kramer guitar.
Nice.
And so I grew up into it, but I always wanted to play the drums, like so bad. But I mean, either we didn't have the money or we didn't have the room to put one anywhere. So
it's a lot of commitment. Drum set.
It really is.
It
like,
is.
and it's, you know, it's big. It's, you know, they take even a 4-piece, you know, takes up a significant amount of space. Yeah. But anyway, he was always talking about how, because my dad, he couldn't play the drums. And he's like, well, you got to use both sides of your brain. And I'm like, what? I just went up. We went to Church of God, and they had, you know, we played music there, so they had a drum set. And I went up there. I must have been like 6. And I just started playing just the basic, you know, beat. Mm-hmm. He was all shocked and stuff. And I was like, what, dude? Just every third hit of the hi-hat just hit the bass. It's really not that big of a deal, man.
No, man, I couldn't do that. I played guitar and bass as a kid, and I get that. Like, I can do 2 different things with like my hands, but like doing the both legs and your arms, and I got to keep a beat. I could never do it. But somehow he has it. So
that's
I'm trying to cultivate that.
That's a gift. Yeah, definitely. He needs to follow that, because you know, he may never be in some big metal band or something, but people are always looking for drummers.
Right. Yeah. I always was like, we were trying to make bands. It's like, I don't know where a drummer is. Nobody plays drums.
They're really flaky. Yeah. Like every drummer I used to sing in bands, and like, God, it took me forever to like play guitar and sing at the same time. But drummers are always so damn flaky.
Spazzy.
Yeah.
You know, they're always really loud and spazzy, and like, those are just drummers, man.
The worst ones are the drummers who, like, you're sitting at dinner with them and they're drumming on the table. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Like, okay, stop.
I get it. It's the only thing worse than that are singers who like will sing in full voice to show you what a great singer they are.
Oh,
yeah, you're like, all right. Shut up. I get it.
Yep.
I've had a lifetime of, I've reached my quota of being around friggin' theater people.
Yeah, they're a certain brand. Certain brand of people.
A cult.
Well, it seems like that it's, you know, the woke have kind of taken that over too, you know. I wanted to ask you, since we got like 15 minutes left with Garrett, at least, I wanted to see what's been the most difficult part? Like, what's been your biggest downfall or struggle since you've started, you know, getting back into the healthy lifestyle?
Self-control and fast food.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing. And it, for a while there, a few months, it got easy. I was doing meal preps, and I was eating only that. And I was working from home this year, so it was a lot easier I'm not seeing as much, you know, fast food when I'm driving around. I'm only home. So it was easy to kind of forget about that. But then it slowly kind of started. Like it. I call it my fat passenger. Did you ever watch Dexter?
Yes.
You know, Dexter. He always calls it his dark passenger is the guy that wants him to kill. You know, oh, you got to murder somebody.
Yes.
Mine's the fat passenger. He's always like, you gotta go eat something, man. I'm hungry. And you literally can go, I don't want to go eat. I don't want to go eat. But then you're catching yourself driving to McDonald's, and you're in the drive-thru, and you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do. You get it, and then you eat it. And it's literally like something like you can't control it sometimes. So that's one of the things that's hard to kind of put to bed, to stop that, the crave, you know, to go do that. So that's one of the things you have to like be mindful of. And if you don't think about it, it'll creep back up on you, and you'll be doing it again.
You got to get that. Just got to keep some of that oatmeal from what's that prep that y'all are always advertising, or Crowder's always advertising? He's always talking about he eats all the oatmeal.
What is that? What is
what it is?
I don't know.
Prep with something.
It is really important to have a meal prep for me, to have something that's in the fridge that is ready to go, that tastes good, that I can heat up, and that is good for me. To have that ready, so I'm not going, oh well, I'll just go, even though it'll take the same amount of time to just cook something. It's faster to go get fast food. So yeah, at least for me, it's important to have something like there, so I can get it, eat it, and not have to think about it. Because once I start going, oh well, I don't have the time to cook, and I gotta do this and that, whatever, and then I go, okay, well, I'll just go get something fast. And that's a little fat passenger getting me every time.
Every time.
Mike?
Oh God! Wait. Sorry. What was the question? What was the hardest?
I messed up the question every time.
No, you're good. Your biggest downfall, challenge, shortcoming since you've started trying to, become more healthy and fit.
God, just doing it.
Just doing it.
I will pledge I'm gonna quit drinking soda after today because I think the shit you said scared the shit out of me. Also, the other day I met up with a friend and we were going to a movie. I had a Coke with me. He was like, "Oh, that's what I associate with you. That's the first thing I think of with you is you always have a Coke." I'm like, if that's the first thing you friggin' think of with me, that is a horrible associate. I'm like, I don't want that to be the thing people think about with me.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Yeah, I'd be like, kind of friend are you, dude? It's the
I know.
hair.
I'm like, what about my Winston personality or something?
All right, I got a couple more. I just wanted to fire off real quick. That way we can kind of make the previous amount or the prior amount of the show that was supposed to be the upcoming part, but anyway, we kind of did it backwards. I'll probably go in and edit it. Yeah, I do like the the raw feel of the live stream for sure. So, how do you guys feel? Well, first of all, real quick, where are you guys getting your fitness advice, like your information?
Well, I started watching. I was talking to you earlier about it. The Buff Dudes on YouTube. I was watching those guys because they're funny. They have skits and whatnot, and they're really relatable. So that, and then just Googling and trying to find the best meals to go with meal preps. I started going on YouTube because I think the problem with YouTube is you can find a bunch of people that will just tell you
what you
want to hear. Yeah. Like how you want to live. Like, how do I want to live? And then you have to find the people that will tell you, like, no, this is how you have to do it. Like, look, this is just it. These are the facts. You have to, more calories out than in, and you have to do these certain things and you can't fudge it. So it's difficult to find those kinds of people, but I guess that's one of the people that I go to because they.
Can I show you something real quick?
Yeah.
As long as you don't have to take your shirt off.
Yeah, stay seated. I don't want you to stand up.
Anyway, no, this guy, I've been watching him basically since I began my own fitness journey, and he's kind of strayed away from his roots, I guess, ever since he blew up. But he has really good information. He's a Canadian. His name is Coach Greg. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he literally states all the time. He says, "I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear." People hate on him all the time because he speaks the truth. And he really doesn't like Athlean-X. He's always
that's the one of Athlean-X.
He doesn't like what?
It's a YouTube channel.
Kind
of like Athlean-X. Well, I think really he's the biggest one out there, though. So how the hell did he get there? I'm sorry?
Is this the woke guy?
No. Jeff Nippard. That's Jeff Nippard. Athlean-X is a.
How do you forget a name like Nipper?
Yeah, I don't know. But no,
Athlean-X is that he's like, if you do this, you'll have a 6-pack in a week, and you're like, what? Come on.
Oh,
You know,
Yeah.
some of his
him.
videos
I was like,
are
yeah,
like
I'm
that.
totally gonna do that.
He
Yeah.
has very clickbaity titles, and he and I mean, I'm pretty sure he's either a doctor or something along those lines. He does have good information.
He's an
but
ex-professional trainer.
Professional trainer.
Oh,
yeah.
is that what
Sports
he is?
Yeah, like
athlete
a professional
Okay.
sports trainer for baseball.
But it's his production value that gets him, you know, and how
Yeah.
long he's been at it. You know, he was one of the first to hit the field as far as, you know, fitness YouTubers go. But anyway, Coach Greg, I actually found Coach Greg because of Athlean-X. I typed in Athlean-X on YouTube and it pulled up Athlean-X is using fake weights. And now when I look back at it and see how long, what's his name? Is it Jeff? Is his name Jeff too? Athlean-X?
Yeah.
Okay, so he did a fake weight lift, and what he was saying he was lifting, I think there was 4 plates on the bar and one of them was fake, is like my 2 or 3 rep max. And I'm like, dude, I've been lifting for like maybe a little over 3 years now, and you're over here faking.
Yeah.
After 20
It seems
years.
like it's very much for people that don't know.
It
Because
is.
if you know, you're like, there's no way. I
It
know
is.
exactly how much that weight feels like, and I know how much stress you're putting on your body. I could tell. But it's for
Absolutely.
people that go like, oh, I have no clue whatsoever.
They have
This
no
guy must
clue.
know what he's talking about. Look how lean he is.
Right.
You know, I could see every single vein in his body. So he
And
must
that's
know.
what sells him. That's what sells him.
Yeah.
It's aesthetic.
I gotta
Yes,
look
sir.
up this asshole.
You're like,
Yeah.
I don't look like that.
I hate watch.
For as much as he sounds like a douche when we're talking about him right now, he's also one of those guys to me that are very knowledgeable as well. If you know how to sift through the bullshit, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. You have to
if
sift.
you're a newbie to the whole health and fitness industry, yeah, he can fool the hell out of you. He can really kind of steer you wrong, unfortunately, because he is very clickbaity and he gives sometimes some pretty silly advice. But the dude also is very, very intelligent if you can sift through the bullshit.
He's charismatic too. Him and his the partner that he works with,
Jesse.
What's his name?
Jesse. I like both of them. They're really cool guys, but it's like it's a little clickbaity. It's a little like
It is.
if you don't know what you're looking for, you can be swayed pretty easily.
You can. It can get corny.
Yeah.
So I mean, look him up, Mike. You have
What's
Well,
his
no,
name?
I've actually got a. Oh no, not Athlean-X.
Athlean-X.
I've got a, and it's just X, not EX or anything like that. But Coach Greg video I've got pulled up. I was just going to show you a piece of it just to give you an idea. But he actually has a cookbook, Garrett, and I think it would really help you out. And I mean, you too, Mike. He takes like desserts, all kinds of delicious meals that are normally just packed with calories, and he's made them with ingredients that are very low calorie. So you can have like your favorite foods and consume a quarter of the amount of calories. And it's not like, I mean, he does have some vegetarian or vegan stuff, but it's not that like that's all there is. But anyway, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
Doesn't
got
matter
the
now.
video.
Here we go. Yeah, I know. Shirts.
Don't forget audio.
You can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm just
So-
on StreamYards. They're really finagly with that.
It's weird.
Hear something with no audio.
So this is one of his older videos. I chose this one because his older videos just seem more like authentic, but
Is this the one we hate or the cool one?
this is the cool guy.
Okay.
He's the one who
The other guy
called,
looks like a
Is
douchebag.
this the one we hate?
So Coach Greg is a former IFBB pro. He's short,
Face.
but he yeah, and I'm just letting you know he owns it. He says I sound like the parrot from Aladdin.
He does.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, he does.
He does.
So just be forewarned. I've seen
Million views. It's pretty good.
a million subs. Oh, that's views on this video, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 1.62 million. Yeah, I've been following him since he had less than 100,000. But anyway,
I'm just picturing that voice coming out of that face.
It's
Well,
gonna
wait till
happen.
you hear it. Wait till you hear it.
Wait.
30%, get to 30. That's going to have a huge health benefits for you. Okay. So it's not just about being perfect. It's about being better than you currently are. Be the best you can be. Don't compare yourself to other people. We're not all Michael Hearn. We can't all be freaks at 50. We can't all be amazing, but we can be better than who we are right now.
Is he retarded? No, like actually, I meant that in a no disrespect.
In a
No,
factual manner.
he's very
Are you
intelligent.
sure?
He might have a little bit of like what's
like a
that
voice box
called
thing.
whenever you're
Special.
no, the kids that are like really kind of nerdy, they sit and they're off. They have like
Savant.
it's not Asperger's, but it's something.
The idiot
Kinda-
savant.
That's the savant.
Hey, that's me.
Well, Coach
think we're all
Greg
a little
says
bit.
some stuff that I disagree with, but overall, I respect him. I mean, and his information is, I mean, really unparalleled by
Mhm.
most of the fitness community. And
Sorry,
he calls
you're trying
out.
to be serious, and I'm here laughing at him.
Coach Greg, and today I'm going to share with you.
Well, you got to
how many
give him a
calories
chance,
do
Mike.
Sorry.
men and women really
Damn.
need. How many calories should we be eating? Dieting,
Yeah, let's just listen to him spit some facts real quick. If Mike can hold it
sense.
together.
Some
Did
just
you
some
do it in
facts.
Braille?
The average woman eats 1,800 calories a day. The average man, 2,800 calories a day. That's what the average person is eating, in case you're just like, well, I don't know. So it gives you a ballpark idea of what kind of calorie range people are eating. Should you be eating that much? No, you shouldn't. 1,800 calories a day for women, 2,800 for men. What does the average person look like? The average person looks like poop. So if you want to look like poop, chances are keep eating as much as you're eating. Unless you're already awesome, unless you already look amazing, unless you're already a competitor, then this video is not for you. This is for the normal diet
Poop looking person.
Mike can't handle it.
as well. You want to minimize
You're
Close your-
muscle. Just think how hard you work to build muscle. You work real hard in the gym to build that muscle. You don't want to just diet it away by rushing things. It's not a race to see who can get lean the quickest. That's the problem. So many before and after transformations, and you see the guy or girl, and then you see the after, and it's 3 months later, and you're like,
Damn it.
whoa, like it's amazing. And that's fantastic
What
for them.
the-
But that's not the reality of what most people should.
I was trying to dadgum change the playback speed so we can get through this so you get to the damn point
Oh, I'm not
already.
gonna be able to handle his
When
voice.
people lose that much weight that quickly,
All right,
I know
Mike.
it's even faster.
Anyway, Garrett, you should check out his cookbook.
Yeah.
It's affordable. He's actually got a couple now.
Got the audiobook.
Oh damn!
I'm gonna send you the audiobook in a box, Mike, and it's just gonna continuously play, and you won't be able to open the box to turn it off. And I'm gonna
I'm
tell-
laughing at
voice.
Mike.
I'm gonna tell your mom to hide it in your room and set it so that it only plays when you're about to fall asleep. But no, Coach Greg, he really is. I mean, it takes a little bit to get used to the voice thing, but I mean,
Yeah, but if it's good
I barely
information though,
noticed
like
it
it.
anymore.
Back to what
I'm
I
an
said,
asshole,
like on
don't go by
YouTube.
me.
On YouTube, it is hard to find genuine fitness channels because there's so many that are trying to sell you a bag of shit. You know, there's like the fitness influencers that are doing a bunch of like fake bodybuilding stuff that is just doesn't work. Or I'm doing CrossFit and it's hard to find actual people that are going to be genuine about the facts and not try to fluff it up and make you buy their goods.
Absolutely.
Kind of same with politics.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, dude. So
Absolutely.
exactly the same.
And we're almost, and we're going to wrap it up soon, Garrett, I promise. But one thing I wanted to say, though, about Greg is he's lived it. You know, he lived the bodybuilding lifestyle. He got basically to the top of his class, and now he races bicycles. 25, 30 miles, however long the races are. And he's all about cardio.
Mm.
The thing about the bodybuilding industry is it's not healthy.
Right.
I don't even care if you're staying natty. Getting your body fat down to sub 7% is not healthy, nor is it maintainable. I mean, there's a very few
don't even
people
look
like
cute.
Tristan Lee that have the genetics to maintain that. But for the average Joe and for Americans especially, it's not anything that can be maintained. And
Mhm.
the people that you see on stage, they have spent months to look like they do on that stage, and they will only look like that on that stage in that lighting for that couple of hours, and then after that they go eat.
Yeah.
Because they just starve themselves for the past.
It's for that one moment on
It
stage
really
so they
is.
can get
Yep.
that look. It's not like a lifestyle that they can maintain. It's just impossible to do.
Not at all.
And that's why I really hoped that I would be able to reach more people with my channel, not just because, I want to have a bunch of subscribers. Is I want to show people that you don't have to be like some, special anything. Like, just go, especially, that's why I included dad in my title, is because I want people to think about their kids and think about being around to meet their grandkids, and I want to show them that, you don't have to, it doesn't matter where you've been, like I used to be on drug, like my rock bottom, I got hauled into jail. I just found out we were going to have a kid, and they put me on the scale, and at 6'3", I weighed 154 pounds. And that was like that they threw me in the cold water, so to speak, in the ice water. And from there, I started doing push-ups. I did like every other day, I would do like 40 push-ups. I could barely do like 10, in a set at the time. And then a week later, I added in like chair dips. And then, I just slowly progressed. And then after I got my workout routine down, I was doing home workouts. I found a weight bench on Marketplace for like $50 that some lady had in her garage that she was selling. It came with like 280 pounds worth of weight. And then I started working on my diet. But obviously, I was so skinny, I wanted to gain weight for a long time. So I was eating a lot. But I didn't know about calories in, calories out until I found Coach Greg. And where, losing weight, you eat in a deficit, it works the exact opposite if you're trying to gain weight or build muscle.
Yeah.
But on that topic that you had just mentioned before, and then I'll let you get out of here, unless you need to go right now. I understand.
No.
So this was supposed to be the transition into us talking about politics in the first place, but things happen, it's raw. So do you feel like this goes to both of you guys. Do you guys feel like the fitness industry, that is like fitness being the Arnold Classic, as in like shows, or social media, or everything to do with fitness, has it become more toxic than it is beneficial?
I don't think so. At least from my perspective, I've only met great people that want to help, that want to make you better. I've not seen too much toxicity. It's mainly stuff that I don't even pay attention to. It's like Twitter shit. It's factions that don't even understand fitness that end up making it the toxic thing that it is. So it's like you just ignore those people. Most people just want to help you do better.
Absolutely.
Mike,
what do you think, man? I want to hear it.
I thought he sounded like gay Gilbert Gottfried.
I'm not talking about Greg anymore. And yes,
I'm talking to Laura.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah, he has actually had that exact same insult before, and he did one of those, respond to the comments. No, he doesn't care. he has a lot of people that'll make troll accounts and troll him, and he says he calls them mosquitoes. He's like, I just shoot
You
them
swat
away,
'em away.
basically. Yeah, he really doesn't care.
What is it specifically people are referring to when they say fitness is toxic? Because in my mind, I just think of like woke fat bitches who think, not being
That-
obese is toxic.
There's
That's
that.
Misery loves company.
But how about just all the misleading information that's out there? That's also extremely toxic.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think
T-shirt.
toxic. I just think of like those types, but I
Yeah.
think it's just like anything else, like politics, like anything, is that there's a lot of phony people out there. So you kind of just have to be discerning.
Yeah.
well, you have to be able. You have to know at least a little bit to be able to tell whether somebody's being genuine or not. And you guys have had to have seen this guy before. And I'll just show you a little snippet. Okay, here we go. Shorts. This guy is notorious in the fitness community. There's so many people have made videos about this guy, and he just keeps coming. And it's never
Douche.
Oh yeah.
he is the he's like, Turd Sandwich? He's the other guy. Biggest douche in the universe. Isn't that what his name is? The guy on South Park?
Turd
Yeah.
sandwich.
There's Turd Sandwich. Oh, that's funny too, because they're voting. You vote, yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Have you guys not seen that episode of South Park? Seriously?
Never watched South Park.
Really?
You
Yeah.
don't watch South Park, bro?
Yeah, I never did.
Oh man, you're missing.
It was
out.
one of those shows that,
That's
like, when I was
like-
growing up, my mom was like, "Don't watch South Park; it's not good for you."
Well, yeah,
But
but
I
you
just never
watch it
picked it up
anyway.
I just never watched it.
The movie is the best.
Movie
Okay,
is the best.
here we go. Gotta love a whole do this exercise to get abs video.
Just do it.
Do
Yeah,
it.
basically.
Do it.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure once you guys see this guy, because you never see like his video pop up in your, recommended. He pays for ads. And gullible newbies go to his channel and must subscribe to him. He's been doing it for years now. But yeah, he is a piece of work, man. I mean, I literally grit
The
my teeth.
anticipation.
I get so
Yeah.
mad.
You need to
When
show
I
this
see
person.
this
I'm
guy.
trying to
I have a
figure out
whole
who this
picture
person is.
painted
I'm
in
almost
my
there.
head.
I got you right there. Okay, here he is.
Shred.com, and in today's video,
I've not seen this guy.
I hit it.
10 of the best and 10 of my favorite ab exercises that we've ever posted here at V-Shred.
I'ma keep on going up till the lights
That's like every single fitness video too. It's like hard to find, right? You need to
Ab-
find a good
Yeah.
person.
Now, mountain climbers are just an overall great exercise for getting your heart pumping. I like this one because it's a great exercise for lower abs. Just make sure you're driving your knees and really crunching
Chris
with
doesn't
your
like
core.
that.
All right, next up at number 9, we have a side-to-side cable pull down.
Shut
Man.
the fuck up.
Shut the
What is
video off.
that? What is
Shut the
that?
video off.
It's stupid, is what
Turn
it
the video
is.
off.
That's like
You
when
know-
you see the people like in those compilation videos of people at Planet Fitness, where they're doing crazy
Oh.
things. They like got their leg up on one the cable
Yeah.
Turn
pull.
it off. Turn it off. We don't want to see that crap.
What is that?
It really is just, gosh, it makes me so mad. Oh, this is the best exercise. No, you know what's the best exercise for lower abs? A calorie deficit. Exercise,
Damn.
restraint, if you
Guys,
will.
guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's V-Shred. If you guys haven't seen him before, just be wary of his he's always lurking in the bushes.
It's that fitness influencer thing. It's the
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
crazy ab workouts like you just had. It's like anytime you see that, I feel like that's a red flag. Like you
100%.
can't get it. You can't buy a pill that'll make you fucking shredded. You can't do a workout for a weekend and get shredded. It just doesn't happen. You have to, it's like a year-long process, like years upon years upon years of consistency and
Absolutely.
sacrifice. You can't do it easy. And these channels that tell you can, it's a red flag. It
is, man. Consistency is undefeated. I say it all the time. So
people love false hope. That's always a very popular commodity.
Yeah.
Yes.
I made a video about this supplement that I found on Instagram, I believe, and it said it was this little. It looked like shit, like a little rabbit pellet, basically, and it said to stick it in your belly button overnight.
I did not think you were going to say belly button.
Yeah, that's not where I was going. I've never heard that before. Stick it in your belly button? What is that supposed to do?
Belly button. What does that do? What does it do?
I made a video about it. Yeah.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
So is that where we're going to land?
That video actually finally took off.
We're landing it in the belly button. That's what we're going.
That's what we're
doing. It's like throw it and like.
That's how we're landing this plane, and it's a belly button.
Wait, but what happens next?
I'm gonna share with you.
What does it do for you?
Nothing.
Howdy.
Oh yeah. I don't it says that it's supposed to like extract toxins out of your freaking intestines.
That's like those little wristbands that they'd sell, like they help your balance.
Or the like feet toxin things. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, there might be some science to that. I'm not sure.
Is there?
Garrett, do we look? Oh, there you are. Well, no, there's
they sell some
pads
shit that, like,
or something.
Pulls toxins out of your feet, and then you like stick them onto the bottom of your feet, and you pull it off, and they're black.
This is
what?
Out of control.
I don't know.
Out of control.
I mean, I've also seen those facial cleanser that like literally draw the blackheads out of your face.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, they're sticking to the outside. That you get weird
bullshit. I think
this is what I was going to close with.
Fun, or rather for your health. Here you get rubbed down, shaken up, tumbled and pushed around for a price and a purpose. If you want to turn fat and flab into nice hard muscle. There's central heating and wall-to-wall carpeting to soften the blows. And all kinds of mechanical wonders to waste away your waste.
I don't even know how to... Oh, there it is. Well, that just mutes it. There's no way.
Oh, no, I don't think it works here.
I would really like to know what they thought that did. Like, what did that?
I've always wondered that.
It just shakes the fat away? That doesn't
it,
make sense.
Yeah, there's several of those.
You like for as long as you like. If
what is that?
And there's a full-time
at
home.
Dude, there's like a couple workouts in there that actually make sense.
This guy here, they're saying there's a full-time muscle man to make you feel right at home.
Like that's an actual workout there. You know, you're actually lifting weights. It's all the weird like belts and gyrating mechanical things.
Yeah.
Don't make sense.
I saw that the other day and I thought that was pretty funny.
Dude. All right, I guess that's how we're gonna land this plane on that one
right there.
Yeah.
Land it with the belly button shit.
We didn't elaborate on the toxicity of the fitness industry, but I know Garrett's got better things to do.
I've got other things to do.
Absolutely.
My little boy got to play some drums.
Yeah, dude. Tell him to tear it up, dude. Tell him if he doesn't smash one of the heads on those drums, then he's not doing it right.
Yeah.
We're trying to cost him more money.
Tell him that you gotta get him some Evans G2 heads. After that,
I'm looking this up.
Those are the best.
Evans. Actually, his snare drum has an Evans head on it.
Evans is the best heads you can get.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it was as of like 7 years ago. I don't know if there's some new something, but most musical instruments, like the old names, are still the best names.
Yeah, it's hard to improve on something like an instrument if it hits. I mean, you get to a certain point and you're like, okay, there's nothing you can improve on top of that. It's a guitar, it's a drum set.
Yeah, my favorite like live sound I've ever heard from drums was Chris Adler, the Mapex drums that he plays. They're did you listen to Lamb of God? They're all Tommy like crazy now, dude. Randy's lost his damn mind.
Really?
Yeah, dude, you can
Rage Against the Machine is the most pathetic.
Dude.
Rage on behalf of the machine.
Yeah.
Such sellouts. And it's like, did you really believe it the whole time? Or at some point did you sell out?
Yeah.
Were you sold out the whole time? I don't, like it's insane to me.
Started on that. All of those bands, and I love like not even them, but like a lot of those bands. I love their music and stuff. But if you think about it, it was all just sort of like a corporate image of rebelliousness without actually having to do anything rebellious.
Yeah.
It was all just manufactured.
Yeah. The thing, I mean, if you listen back, like Lamb of God, for instance, they would talk about the government, but it never mattered who the president was. They would just point out the people who were dying due to different things that were happening, right? In their lyrics.
It was like System of the Down was the same way. They did a lot of political stuff in their songs, but it wasn't like
directed
directly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember
but now,
Rock Against Bush?
So crazy.
I had every one of those albums.
Yeah, right.
I remember last year, Lamb of God's latest album, Memento Mori, had just come out. A badass song. I mean, it hits so hard. And it was like 2 days later, I see an interview with Randy Blythe. And he's all sobered up now. He doesn't party anymore. And he thinks he's like, oh, I'm super wise, man. And he goes on like a 20-minute spiel about how Trump's this evil, like I'm like
Chevelle did the same thing. They came out with a song about 2020, and it was like they don't want to listen to the science. Like it literally, those are the words like in it. Were like they don't listen to the science. They don't want to listen to anything. It's like, oh, stop! Just don't do that. Just stop it.
It's so
I hate it.
The science.
It's so ironic though, because them refusing to hear out all data sets is anti-science. And then they call us anti-science.
Just shut up, play your guitar and sing and stop trying to tell me how to live my life.
But I'm able to separate the art from the artist.
Me too.
So
yeah.
Well, to an extent,
I can still listen because it's a good song. It's a good song, and I'm like, I like this song, but the words it annoys me.
Yeah.
So annoying.
Like there's a lot of Lamb of God or like other, songs like those that'll get me really pumped. The beat will just get me pumped for a workout or something. But like their latest album, I'm just like, I think he doesn't directly mention Trump in one of the songs, but you can tell that's who he's talking about. And I'm just like, I'm really disappointed. They've been my favorite band since I was like 14 years old, and here they are, and I'm like, really, guys? Are you fucking? They were labeled a Southern heavy metal band from the South USA, and that's what they're doing.
Well,
fuck out of here.
They're all such songs.
Fuck out of here.
Anyway.
Get out of here.
Anyway. Garrett, I know it's probably your time to get out of here. Mike, I know that you probably have to run as well. I think we all have things to do. But man, I want to just say from me, I can't thank y'all enough for coming on the stream and joining us today. This humble little show, really, really appreciate you guys guest hosting with us. You are guests, but you were just part of the conversation as we were. So I really, really can't thank y'all enough. So that's what I've got to say. Chris, what do you got to close us out?
The same that, I'll just finish where we started. Beyond grateful. I can't put it into words how grateful I am. I'm really happy I spent the money on that super chat to ask you to come on the show, Garrett. And I never expected you to say, to actually say yes.
Dude,
I was just like messing around, and I was like, what? I think I had heard you talking about being on another channel. I went and looked at them, and they had like I think they still were a larger channel than mine, but I was like,
Yeah.
maybe. And I remember,
Well, you know, the thing is just like, you know, if it's cool, like I said this before the show, you know, it's all about just cool people. You know, I don't care if your channel has 1 million subs or if it has 3 subs or whatever. Like, if you're cool, that's what it's about.
We're down. We're down.
Yeah. So
Well,
thank you for asking me to come on. I very much
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
thank
Yeah,
both
thanks
of
for
you
coming.
guys.
Yes,
Because
thanks for having me. It's great to finally meet you, Garrett.
I know we gotta hang out sometime.
Yes, seriously,
Talk about
I miss Texas
stuff. We gotta talk.
Yes.
oh yeah, Garrett and Michael are both in Texas. I'm
Yes,
in
sir.
Tennessee, and Mike is soon to be in Florida because he's
Oh, I
getting
can't
Not
wait.
that,
Come
Mike.
visit me.
Not that, Mike.
But which part of Florida are you going to, Mike?
Well, I think what I've heard is that St. Petersburg is really nice, so I'm going there in a couple weeks to scope it out.
Where is that? Like in the northern or southern?
West, it's not far from Tampa.
Okay, I got you. I was just curious. But yeah, whenever you had answered that super chat, Garrett, I think I did like a 10-second screen record and I sent it to Michael. I was like, dude, Garrett's gonna come on our show.
Sorry it took so long.
No,
You know?
No.
That was
dude,
like a long
doesn't-
time ago.
It was, I mean, we could have waited another 6 months and it still would have been worth the wait, dude. I really
man.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it,
And
man.
I hope we didn't bore you too much.
No, it's good. It gets me back in the motivation talking about fitness.
Yeah,
and
man.
doing
Well,
it again.
if you ever,
I need to
have any
start things.
questions or need any advice, like I said, Michael here, he's a cardiovascular specialist and he's been in the gym for over 20 years. I'm more fresh to the, more new, as you would say. I wouldn't say
3
I'm
years
still-
though. I mean, it's way more than me.
Yeah, I'm moving from, beginner to newbie, or I mean intermediate, not newbie. I'm moving from newbie to intermediate. But I wouldn't say I'm like an advanced lifter. I just happen to be genetically blessed in the ab department and deadlift. Like my body mechanics allow me to. Well, I grew up on the farm picking up heavy shit all the time, so that's probably why I can deadlift so much. But anyway, anytime you need any advice, you got a question about something, just hit me
Hell
up.
yeah.
You can message me on. I've got you on Discord. I've got you on Twitter and Instagram. So, or you can just come on here and leave a comment. I've got an entire playlist on weight loss, and several other things related to fitness. And like I said, I don't just pull shit out of my ass. I'm not going to put something up for my audience unless it's backed by actual scientific data. I'm very
I pulled it
particular.
out of my belly button.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's a
in there,
pill.
apparently.
It's a pill. It's
Oh,
like
What
yeah.
got me the most
eat it?
was the amount of people in the comments that were saying, "Oh, it really worked. I tried it." It's like,
bots.
Yeah.
Bots. But yeah, I do have to go. So thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it, man. And
Thanks
Yeah, Chris, you're the best. Thank you so much for everything. You're great. It's already
Thank
Thank you, guys.
thanks to everybody in the chat and watching on playback. And our regular programming will continue a week from this coming Friday. So next Friday on my co-host Michael's channel. And we will go from there. That will be episode 25.
You got it.
Everybody have a great rest of y'all's week.